Have you ever wondered why that woman can wear high heels all night and she looks like she's not suffering at all? And me personally, I just 5 minutes and I give up and I'm in pain. Well, there are certain things that you need to know to make better choices in getting yourself high heels. And then you could also potentially feel much more comfortable wearing them all night. Hello, my beautiful subscribers. Rasa the dancer is here, and today it's all about the heels. Listen, I've heard it enough. There's so many women who are saying, I don't understand how these people wear heels. I'm in pain 5 minutes after I put them on. And to be honest with you, yes, there's a lot to do with, your actual physicality in wearing heels. However, a lot of it is lack of understanding of what kind of shoe actually fits you. So I'm going to actually give you some good advice today, because it's not that I can wear any kind of heels at any point and it just works out. No, but I know how to pick the right type of heels in order to fit my type of body, my type of feet. And that helps me last all night. And I can actually last in these heels. And these are not even dancing heels, these ones that I dance in. So that's how amazing the type of heels that I pick. I pick the heels that no matter what happens, I know I'm going to be okay. So I'm going to share these tips with you, and I really hope that it will help you in making your decisions and you will feel like, you know what? I can wear heels. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the actual flexibility of your foot. The flexibility of the foot is important because when you're wearing heels, you are arching. And one of the painful things that happens to you is that your foot is not flexible enough. And in order for the foot to be flexible, you need to do basic normal stretches. If you want some stretching for the feet, I actually made videos for that as well. It takes 5 minutes to do these stretches, but basically when you do the stretches, it's like stretching anything in your body, your legs, your back, your neck. It exactly works the same way. You do it every single day for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and you will see the results. Once the foot is more flexible, it's less likely to cramp. It's less likely to cause you pain when you're standing in heels. So I'm going to tag a video that I made for stretching the feet. So if that's something that you'd like to do, of course, do that. And that is a huge thing. If you have things like sticking out bones from the side, bunions or something from your feet, you should look into that. Don't just walk around with them. You can go to the doctors and actually get it sorted. It might be painful and uncomfortable, but it will work out in the long run. And so there's many different conditions that you might have that might need a different kind of attention. But stretching your feet, massaging your feet, opening up and flexing your feet, it only going to do good, even if you don't wear heels. But if you want to wear them, that's really the number one thing. All right, now it's time to talk shoes. Okay, so let's start with this. There is no such thing as any high heels suit anybody. There is such thing as high pain threshold. Okay, so don't believe that any heel is for anybody. That is not true. A lot of the heels are not your heels. They just not. So unless you're willing to be in conscious pain all the time, just because you like the heels very much, then you have to be smart in how you choose them. A lot of people go to the shop, they like the heels. Oh my God, they're the most beautiful heels ever. And then they will put them on and it's like, well, I can get away with it. But then they actually go out and they wear them 5 minutes and they just can't put them on anymore. It's too painful, right? Because you bought the heels that you liked visually. You didn't actually buy the heels that visually fits your foot and actually feels good. So that's the first mistake that we do. So, of course, we have to pick a shoe that we like. For example, when I picked this shoe, I thought it's beautiful, right? Look at the heel, look at the actual nose, and it's, a little bit different coloring. It's like a snake. So I thought it's a beautiful heel, and it is. But the most important thing, I tried these kind of shape of shoe before. And one of the things you need to watch out for is the closed compartment here. When it goes into the smaller nose, a lot of the times, if you have a wider foot, it's guaranteed to squeeze your pinky and your big toe, but mostly your pinky or even the finger, the toe next to the pinky. And when it squeezes, that's when it causes pain. So usually you're going to be in pain not because you're on a high heel. You're usually going to be in pain because you're going to be squashed from the sides. So when you're buying a shoe, don't buy just because it looks beautiful. Search for the style you're looking for, but search in a style where it actually expands. Don't trust that it will stretch. It usually, even if it stretches, it will still be applying a lot of pressure on your foot. I personally think that these shoes are fantastic, but when you put them on, it has to sink in. So my foot is inside that shoe and it sank in it. So even though it's closed, it's not elevated like this. It's actually pushed in. So then it can be resting and it's like a little ship on my foot. So when you're buying closed shoes with a little, where it goes a little bit less rounded, it's a problem. If it continues to round all the way around your toes, then you're going to have less pain and it's going to be more of a success when you're on the actual heels. All right, so another important thing when you're wearing heels, let's go with the red ones. And guys, sorry by the way they look a little bit dirty because as I told you, I actually wear them all the time and I even dance in them all the time. So the red ones here, what I'm going to show you is how important when the heel is very high to have a correct arch. So we talked about that if you have a wider foot, you have to wear shoes that are widened on the sides so that your pinkies and your toes are not squashed, because that's where your pain comes in. You think you can't wear heels, but it's actually the fact that it's just squashing your foot. So the wider opening is important. The number two thing is the actual arch of the foot. So every shoe is different, it's made differently, and your arch is very unique to yourself. If the arch matches your arch when you put the shoe on, which I'm going to show you in a second, then you're going to be fine. You're going to be able to last on your heels longer. If the arch doesn't match, that's when you're in trouble, and that means you're going to be uncomfortable in a matter of minutes. So this is the important bit. As we're putting on this shoe, it's going to take me a moment. Bloop, bloop, bloop. As we're putting on this shoe, the important bit is the arch. Okay, so as you can see, the important bit is this arch right here. It actually completely fills in my arch. Sometimes you have shoes that create a gap between you and the actual arch, and that's when it becomes a problem. But when you push down your foot and it fills in the arch, then you know you're going to have much more success. These shoes you see on this side as well, it fills in my gap rather than my foot is off the shoe, right? So these are the things that are extremely important. This is the sole that matches your foot. So when you have it well matched, then the heels are there to stay and you can be in them all night long. So we talked about the closing of the shoe, that you have to try and make it a little bit wider for the shoes that you like. We talked about the arch of the shoe, that it has to match your arch so that it would fill in and there wouldn't be gaps between your foot and the shoe to make it more comfortable. And finally, let's talk about heels in general, that sometimes, yes, unless you have experience with heels, you stretch your feet, maybe you have some sort of physical conditions in terms of your feet, very high heels like these are not for everybody, but that doesn't mean you can't wear heels. So then it is super nice to actually get a shoe that can be just as cute, elongate your feet, your legs a little bit more, but it's a thicker heel. It can be still very stylish, and it can be just a little bit less high, and it could be a little strap around your ankle to make sure it's a little bit more secure, wider opening, making sure that you're just so comfortable, like a little sandal. You can have, you see this one has a little bit of gold, so it keeps it a little bit more elegant, so I could make it a little bit more fancy and not go for the crazy high heels. So the point is that you don't need to suffer if it's really high heels, like something you are suffering from and physically it's very difficult for you. Just go with the lower heel and go with a little bit more rounded or thicker heel, and I promise you it will work just as well, and you won't need to feel like you just can wear flats. You can definitely wear a thicker heel and a little bit shorter and still get that length in the leg and still feel like you're wearing heels without going overboard. Ladies, it is time to say yes to heels, but not just any heels, but the heels that actually suit your feet. So I really hope that these tips were helpful and you will consider them next time you're thinking about wearing heels, rather than just thinking, no, heels are not for me. And as I said, I'm gonna leave you with the videos here of how to stretch your feet, and I made also other videos for dancing shoes. Check them out. Leave me a comment if you found this video useful. I'm thinking about you, how to help you out. And guys, of course, show some love and subscribe to the channel. And now I will say goodbye, but I will see you very soon. Mwah!